There are so many people that love Christa, and Christa wants to live for all of us.
I did something horrible that is unacceptable, and I realize that. But I don't deserve to die.
Christa does not deserve to die. No one deserves to die.
Imagine this, a woman sentenced to death at age 18, and now, nearly 3 decades later, she could become the first woman executed in her state in over 200 years. This is Christa Pike's story, from obsession to murder, to life on death row, to a date with execution that's just been set. Welcome to Victim and Verdict, true crime stories told with empathy, respect, and depth. We remember victims, not headlines. Subscribe and join us because every victim deserves to be remembered and every verdict understood. Christa Gale Pike was born March 10, 1976 in Beckley, West Virginia. Her early life was troubled. Abuse, dysfunction, instability. She struggled, moved, and finally, as a teenager, enrolled in Job Corps, a chance she hoped for a fresh start. But instead, that environment became the setting for one of the most disturbing murders in U.S. history. The victim, 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer, was a college student looking for connection and a fresh start on campus. Those involved. 18-year-old Christa Pike, struggling with jealousy and insecurity, spent most of her time with her boyfriend, Darrell Shipp, a quiet 17-year-old who was deeply influenced by her. Their friend, Shadala Peterson, 18, often stayed close to the pair, a student who became entangled in their circle almost by accident. On January 12, 1995, Pike, Shipp, and Peterson lured Colleen into a wooded area near campus. What followed was more than murder, it was torture. Witness testimony and forensic evidence revealed Colleen was beaten, stabbed, taunted. Pike carved a pentagram on Colleen's chest.
For 45 minutes she had cut her. She cut her throat. She made that comment, "The bitch won't die." And so she took a large piece of asphalt that was discarded on the side of the road.
Authorities say she was then beaten over the head with a large chunk of asphalt from this pile.
In a chilling detail, Pike is alleged to have kept a fragment of Colleen's skull as a trophy. When authorities found her body, the brutality and symbolism stunned investigators and the public alike.
It was really a slaughter, and that's not a word that I'd use lightly, but it was a slaughter. This victim is pleading for her life.
It was a crime that transcended shock. It posed a deeper question. What leads a young person to carry out such cruelty?
Christa was angry because she had heard, or she was accusing Colleen of having designs on Darrell Shipp, and she wasn't going to let anybody get her boyfriend.
The evidence was overwhelming. At trial, Pike was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death in 1996.
To die.
But just a few minutes after this display, she wrote Shipp a letter and was clearly walking the sociopath. "I miss you so much. You see what I got for trying to be nice to that hoe? I went ahead and bashed her brains out so that she'd die quickly instead of letting her bleed to death." That statement was, "I didn't let her suffer." She became one of the youngest women in modern U.S. history to receive the death penalty. Over the years, Pike's legal team raised appeals, argued her mental health, and sought commutation, all to no avail. Her requests were repeatedly denied. But now, a new chapter is unfolding, one that might bring closure or ignite more controversy. Here's where things shift. As of late September 2025, the Tennessee Supreme Court has issued a death warrant for Pike. Her execution is scheduled for September 30th, 2026. If carried out, she would be the first woman executed in Tennessee in more than 2 centuries.
I knew from the beginning that I would get the death penalty.
This is happening as the state resumes executions after years of delay due to lethal injection protocol issues.
Tonight, Governor Lee is saying the death penalty is an extremely serious matter, and that is why I instructed the Tennessee Department of Correction to review the lethal injection protocol to leave no question that procedures are correctly followed. He says, I am confident in Commissioner Strada's ability to oversee this process in compliance with the revised protocol.
Pike's legal team is pushing back. They argue her young age, just 18 at the time, her history of abuse and undiagnosed mental illness should spare her. It's not just a prison case anymore. It's becoming a human rights battleground. Pike has endured decades in isolation. Because she's the only woman on Tennessee's death row, she was kept in conditions that critics describe as de facto solitary confinement.
23 hours a day. And for going on almost 12 years, that's a long time. I'm only out of my room 1 hour a day, and that's just in another cage. It's like a dog cage, a kennel. So I'm either in a box or in a kennel, and that's pretty much it.
In 2024, she reached a settlement giving her more opportunities: shared meals, jobs, limited social interactions, basic human rights men on death row already receive. This shift is significant. It's a recognition that decades of isolation cause serious psychological harm. It also signals that the system is being challenged, even from within. This case forces us to wrestle with deeper issues. Youth and culpability. Pike was 18, legally an adult, but still neurologically adolescent.
Christa was found guilty of the murder. They go into the penalty phase. And to prosecute someone that young for the death penalty, particularly a woman, is very unusual.
Disparities in sentencing. Her younger co-defendant got life, not death. Human dignity behind bars. Decades of isolation matter. Irretrievable loss. No appeal, no legal ruling, no public debate can restore Colleen Slemmer's life or heal her family's grief.
And I just want Christa down so I can end it, relieve my daughter so she finally can be resting. And I want this to happen before I die. Otherwise, nobody will see justice.
Christa Pike's story, from brutal crime to looming execution, is a mirror. It forces us to ask what we value more: punishment or humanity. Christa Pike's name is now etched into history, not just as a convicted murderer, but as a case at the intersection of justice, mercy, and human imperfection. If her execution proceeds, it will be a moment Tennessee hasn't seen in more than 2 centuries, a stark reminder that our legal decisions echo beyond prison walls. If stories like this matter to you, if you believe we should remember victims and scrutinize the justice system, share this video. Let more people pause and reflect. Subscribe to Victim and Verdict for more stories told with care, complexity, and respect. Because remembering is just the beginning. Understanding is what changes us. This was the case of Christa Pike.